So they're like, okay, fine. We took out the auction house, and we don't have an infrastructure in place for trading. That means it's gonna be even harder for people to get the items that they need than before. Because before, yeah, sure, legendary items had an abysmally low drop rate, and even if you found one, it wasn't guaranteed to have the stats for your class or whatnot, or it could be a bad roll, whatever. But there's the auction house, right? There's the auction house, so you can still get the items for your build if you just play the auction house. Well, shit, we removed the auction house. What do we do now? And their solution to that problem was to just, to a bizarre degree, ramp up the legendary drop rate. So that, like, you don't need trading anymore, because everyone is gonna be able to find anything and everything they want. And it's like, is that a good solution? Where you have it so that after 2 weeks of playing a season, you've found every single legendary item in the game? And they're all designed to be, like, roll with the correct stats and all of that. See, because one of the things about Diablo 2 was, like, the main focus of the game was being an item hunt, right? That's what it was. It was, you were hunting for specific legendary items so that you could, like, unlock builds, and that was like the end game. That was the point of the game. It's just the item hunt. And if you remove the item hunt, what's left of the game is just an EXP hunt, right? That's all that's left to hunt for at this point. It's just level ups. Because you're gonna get the items. That's become trivialized. And that's not as interesting to me, just doing an EXP hunt forever. You know, it's the whole sort of design idea around either instant gratification to make people happy, or longevity, because you sort of can't have both. You can't get both longevity and constantly, like, just giving everyone everything they want. Because if you just give everyone everything they want immediately, well, then they have nothing left to hunt for. And then they're gonna get tired. Look at that. That's a goblin that drops plants for, like, being able to craft new legendary things. Very important. I don't know if you noticed that before, but there was a part of the seasonal journey which was learning new crafting recipes. So, you know, that's taken care of now. See, the seasonal journey is easy. A lot of it just plays itself. At least in the stages we're gonna do. So to summarize, what I would like to see, a weakened enemy, a weakened hero, which can't kill enemies quite as fast as you can in Diablo 3. And I would like to see less enemies in the game, and I would like to see them being sort of ramped up in difficulty. I would like to see more of a focus on just finding items, and I mean, I guess if you listen to it, basically what I would like is for Diablo to be like Dark Souls, right? That's it. Because if you compare Dark Souls to other sort of, like, you know, action RPGs or action role-playing games, say for example, I don't know, Darksiders or whatever, or maybe even better, take God, what are those games called? Hyrule Warriors, stuff like that. Hyrule Warriors is kind of like the Dark Souls 3 version of a Souls game. Where you fight a million enemies at the same time, and what any individual enemy does not matter in the slightest. Whereas in Dark Souls, you fight your enemies one by one. Because if you don't fight your enemies one by one and try to take on like 4 or 5 enemies at the same time, you're gonna get your shit pushed in. So I guess I would like it to be like Dark Souls. That would be nice. That would be great design. And considering that like an idea that the developers had while Diablo 4 was in development hell was that Diablo 4 was going to be a Souls-like game. I mean, it's right there, people. It kind of writes itself. Just don't be such cowards and do it. Now, at this point, like I said before, I found a new two-handed legendary, and there's a chance at level 67 or 66 that this is going to outperform the weapon I have. Indeed it does. It outperforms it quite a lot. The reason why I say this is because it has a socket. So if I take like a ruby and give it like plus 160 damage, because my crit chance is actually okay at 18%, so I'm gonna take an emerald and put it in here for crit damage. Damage is slightly lower, but the life after each kill makes it so that I recover health a lot faster. So it's actually better. It's actually better than the weapon I was using. We're gonna go with that instead now. How about that? Now obviously as soon as we hit level 70, we're gonna get a level 70 legendary weapon. But for now, I'll take a 50% increase in recovery. I'll trade that off for 2% less damage. That is totally worth it. But man, could you imagine that? If they just announced that like I get it. It has the Diablo name, which means that people want it to be a Diablo game. So maybe that's a bit too far out there. Maybe it's a bit too far out there to just say that like, yeah, it's a different game now. It's a different genre. It's like releasing Sid Meier's Civilization 7. Oh, it's a real-time strategy game, right? It's a base-building RTS. And people will be like, that's not Civilization. That's not what we want a Civilization game to be. So I get that maybe they couldn't do that for Diablo. But what I'm asking is, what if there's like a happy medium? Right? What if you can have an RTS, I mean an ARPG, like Diablo, an isometric ARPG, top-down view and stuff, just like this, but that also sort of adheres to a lot of Dark Souls sort of design ideas for what like combat should be, and how itemization should be, and how skills should work, and how enemies should work, stuff like that. What if you could do that? That would be my sort of dream scenario for what I would want Diablo 4 to be. And also, while you're at it, throw in Warframe's design for mission selection and instances and doing various tasks, and like just having the infrastructure for just, I want to do this task on this map, put me in a group who's doing exactly that. So yeah, take the best parts of Dark Souls and combine it with the best parts of Warframe and the best parts of Diablo. Blizzard, just do that. That's what I want. Now, I know it sounds like almost naive, but here's the thing. I think this idea that I just presented is a whole lot better than what Blizzard is probably hearing right now from a majority of like the Circle Jerky fans who are just like, oh, just make it like Diablo 2 and Path of Exile. If you can just take Diablo 2 and Path of Exile and smash those two together and call it Diablo 4. That's what we want. Because I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's what they're gonna do, and I don't think that's what they should do. And I think Blizzard thinks like me. I think they also think that that's not something they're gonna do, and it's not something they should do. Because that's, I don't know, it's such a backwards way of thinking. And I don't think they're in the business of thinking backwards. I think they want new and improved. Okay, so I can also find crafting recipes for getting better rubies, better emeralds, better amethysts and stuff like that. Those are very important. So I just found the crafting recipe for the royal ruby, and I think we can actually make a royal ruby, and that's very relevant to us. I'll show you why. So that one's better than that one, and that one's worse than that one. And there we go, there we go, there we go. Scrap everything else. Scrap that, scrap that. I made sure not to scrap this. Even though we're not using it anymore, it is a level 70 staff. And that's important. That's important because when we hit level 70, which we're going to do very soon... oh shit, I'm actually missing one. Ah, that's typical. But you know what we can do? You know what we can do? We have enough Imperial rubies where we can make a flawless Imperial ruby. Boom! Even more crit damage. Ah. And at this point, this is going to be the final rift. This rift is going to take us to level 70. And we're probably just gonna be level 70 when we kill the Rift Guardian. So there is a chance that he's gonna drop some nice level 70 legendary items, which would be fantastic. And then we can get to the next stage of things, where I can show you how to do the next stage. See this? See this? Look at this screen. That's like... I don't know. And it's so weird, because a lot of these problems is the reason why ARPGs are in such a weird state right now. Because everyone's sort of figuring out, or trying to figure out, like, how do we design an ARPG in 2020, right? Is this what people want? Obviously, Diablo 3 is the gold standard. It's one of the best-selling games of all time, if not the best-selling game of all time. So it obviously is doing things right, right? But at the same time, everyone is sort of silently acknowledging that what this game represents is not the future of ARPGs. So it's like, it shouldn't be. The genre kind of needs to move in another direction. I don't think people want another game that's like this game. So I think what you should do is you should probably look at Diablo 3 as sort of like this game in itself is sort of like a beginning, middle, and end of an era. Because it's old at this point. This game has been out for many years. I think we've reached a point where we're ready for something new. It doesn't need to be this. It can be something else. It should be something else. Okay. It's one of them undead levels. That's fine.
Another cult has emerged from the shadows, and
So, I don't know. That's why I'm a bit worried about the fact that this game has been in development hell for a very long time. And they've had different ideas. They've had a lot of different ideas for the game, what it's supposed to be during the time it's been in development. And when they did show off a demo at BlizzCon that they threw together because of the China troubles, it felt very samey. It felt very much like Diablo 3. I'm not sure that the confidence is there in Blizzard anymore. Because Blizzard today is not the same company that it was like 10 years ago. I'm not sure the confidence is still there to do something new. And something that's like reshaping the idea of how we look at an ARPG. I don't know, it's kind of the same with other Blizzard games as well. With Hearthstone, with World of Warcraft, and even to an extent with Overwatch, which is like their newest game. Where it sort of feels like they're just sort of treading in place and kind of like, let's just keep this train rolling. But like we're just staying on this path because we've forgotten how to do anything else. I don't know. They have had a lot of like their core developers and stuff leave the company in recent years. Like Jay Wilson got like a lot of flack that he didn't deserve for Diablo 3, but like, you know, Jay Wilson's gone. Mike Morhaime is gone. You're kind of wondering, especially since you know, Blizzard, I'm not sure everyone knows about this. It's pretty commonly like well known, but I'm not sure everyone knows about this. That Blizzard a couple of years ago, or Blizzard Activision, they bought King, the developer of mobile games, most known for making Candy Crush Saga and all of the spin-off games to Candy Crush. Blizzard bought King, and they now own Candy Crush. And if you look at sort of like the revenue streams for Blizzard, like at this point, the money that Blizzard is making from King, like absolutely dwarfs the money they're making from anything else. They're making so much money hand over fist from just these, like the mobile section now. To where they're looking at like their traditional games that don't make nearly as much money. And maybe they're asking themselves, should we? Do we even need to put a bunch of, like as much focus into this as we used to? Do we need to be as good as we once were? Or can we just sort of put out a mediocre product just to keep our names out there and it's fine, and then we'll just rake in that mobile money forever? And if that's the focus, then you sort of like begin to understand a bit better like how the whole thing with Diablo Immortal happened. Where their idea was that if they can put out like a Diablo mobile game and put it in the Chinese market, that's gonna make more money than a mainline Diablo 4 game released in the West could ever hope to make. Right? Because there are already these sort of like ARPGs in the Chinese market for mobile games, but if you have one that has like the official, like it's the official Diablo 4 game, you know, everyone would be playing that, and they probably would. Diablo Immortal probably still is a huge moneymaker, and I don't understand why it never came out. So in that sense, it's like, I don't know. Blizzard feels somewhat claustrophobic. No, wrong word. Schizophrenic, that's the word I was looking for, not claustrophobic. And if you look at, for example, like Hearthstone design, it's a lot of just retreading old ideas, and like the theme of this year's expansions has been we're bringing back old themes from old expansions and taking them all for a new spin. And it's like, holy shit. Is that what Blizzard is now? It's like the movie business where it's like, well, the most profitable thing you can do is sequels. So why have original ideas and original IPs if they make less money than just putting out a somewhat uninspired sequel? And I guess, like, in some sense, like, it's a relevant question to ask. Why bother when you don't need to? Right? Why use many word when few word do trick? It's, I don't know. So we'll see. Like, I'm not gonna like fall into like the negativity hole. I'm gonna keep myself positive about Diablo 4. I'm gonna have some semblance of faith that it's gonna be a pretty good game. But I am noticeably less hype about it than I was, you know, for Diablo 3 before that came out. Alright, so my EXP grind is actually going a bit slower than I thought. I only gained a single level in this rift. I only went from 68 to 69 because, like, the final push does require a chunk of EXP. A chunk. So I'm obviously not gonna get a whole level up just from killing this rift boss. Here we go. Yeah. Ah, there's an there. Oh, damn it! He popped my near death. He popped my near death experience. So now I can't heal. Woo! You see how I dodged that attack? I saw how I dodged that attack. That was a really nice dodge of me. That is what we call a pro gamer move. And that was actually not random. That was me paying attention. I was paying attention and talking. Ooh, bracers. That's nice. Alright. And I got a new transmog. That's neat. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The strong arm bracers, right? No? Is that... Oh, no. That's not... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. My luck is bizarre. That's not strong arm bracers. No. That's something completely different. I'll show you. I'll show you. I know what that is. Let's see. Look. Is there anything good here? No, there is not anything good here. Scrap. Oh, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the Gungdo gear. Ah.